Putnam's chambers?
Yes, may I speak with David Waters, please?
This is he.
David, this is Roger Schuler. I had a couple of other questions. I'm curious why you hung up on me.
Because you were making unfounded accusations that have no basis in reality.
Your father works at Jones Walker Law Firm, and Jones Walker Law Firm and their clients have benefited from the rulings in this case, and that was not disclosed to my wife. That's not unfounded. That is founded.
That is not material to this. I do not discuss anything with anyone outside of this office. He has nothing to do with this.
It's not been disclosed to us, and you hung up on me because you didn't want to answer questions about it. That's apparently how you...
What are your questions?
My question is, why was that not disclosed, and why were people, the financial industry entities, dismissed from this case when they all filed matters outside the pleading? And you know, when they file matters outside the pleading, it has to be treated as summary judgment, there has to be discovery, and they cannot be granted a motion to dismiss. So yes, it is material. They have been unlawfully dismissed from this case. I know that, you know that, and your father's law firm has benefited from that, and that was not disclosed to my wife. I consider that a serious matter. We're talking about my wife's job here. And on top of that, Bradley Byrne is also a member of that firm who is close to the Riley family, who probably have something to do with my wife being unlawfully fired. And I don't much care for my taxpayer dollars being paid to have somebody hang up on me when I call about a conflict of interest that should have been disclosed, and it wasn't.
Sir, Judge Putnam is handling your case personally. I had nothing to do with them.
You're his law clerk, David, and you hung up on me because you know you're doing the wrong stuff.
I have not had anything to do.
I don't care whether you have anything to do with it. Your father's law firm has benefited from this.
No,
Yes, it has. His Kary Wolfe has gotten her client off unlawfully, and then I find out that his son happens to work for Judge Putnam. Isn't that interesting? And you know the standard is the appearance of impropriety. And if this is not an appearance of impropriety, I don't know what is. So Judge Putnam should not be on this case. Judge Kalan should have never made that order. And you hung up on me because basically you don't want to discuss it. You want to keep it hidden, just like everybody else down there.
I have never, ever attempted to hide the fact that my father works for Jones Walker.
You hung up on me, David, when I tried to ask you about it.
And I did that after I'd already confirmed to you that yes, he works for Jones Walker, and said that it had nothing to do with this case. That's all there is.
Well, I believe it does have something to do with this case.
Well, I can't.
There's an obvious conflict of interest. It's fact. You are Judge Putnam's law clerk. Your father works at Jones Walker, and Jones Walker's law firm represents somebody opposite my wife in this case. That's a conflict by definition. And you've done nothing about it. You hung up on me, and nobody has disclosed it. And you also, your office and that clerk's office down there has intentionally not notified my wife, so you were hoping she wouldn't show up, but we did show up down there that day. So we've been screwed umpteen ways to Sunday on this case. Who are some of the other law? Is that the way that's done down there? I know Ben Slaughter was Judge Acker's law clerk, and he now works at Haskell Slaughter. And you're Judge Putnam's law clerk, and your father works at Jones Walker. Is that how it's done? All the big pro-corporate law firms, they get their children these nice clerkships down there. Is that how it's done? And just regular, everyday people like us who get cheated out of our jobs, we just get screwed. Time and again. And you don't care, do you, David? Because you've got your future. You've got a nice little nest made for you at Jones Walker when you get out of your clerkship. Some of the rest of us have to actually work for a living and actually have to earn jobs. But you don't care about that.
Sure.
And you've got a conflict of interest, and you know it, and that's why you hung up, and Judge Putnam knows it, and he's crooked. And everyone knows...
Right now, there's nothing that I can do to help you here. There's further conversation on this topic is inappropriate at this point, because now this conversation has to end. And
you can end it whenever you want. You've already hung up once. Go ahead and do it again. But I'm a journalist, and I'm going to print this, and I'm not going to sit back and let you and your little colleagues at Jones Walker cheat my wife. She's been out of a job for 3 months, or 3 years, and I know who did it, and you have dismissed people. Angie Ingram has been wrongfully dismissed. Now you know, you can't deny that she put matters outside the pleadings into this case, and therefore she cannot be dismissed. You know that. Everybody down there knows it. And then I find out that Angie Ingram is represented by someone from your father's law firm. Now that's a conflict of interest, David. You can't sit there with any sort of serious look on your face and deny it.
Conversation